afternoon, my name is Ebony Rota and I'm here to speak to you today about a research project that I recently undertook as part of my Bachelor of Early Learning. My research project set out to ask the question, what happens when I introduce a sustainability curriculum based on environmental education and greater access to outdoor environments within my own early childhood setting? This research project took place over a period of 5 weeks earlier this year at my own workplace, which is a 100-place long daycare centre in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne. I chose this research question for a number of reasons, first and foremost being my own personal passion about sustainability and environmental care. I believe that as an early childhood teacher, I am in the best position to teach the children of today and therefore future generations about sustainability and the importance of behaving and implementing practices that care for the environment and build a better future for everyone. The second reason is I wanted to connect children with nature. In today's society, children don't have a lot of opportunity to spend time in the natural world. More and more of the global population are moving to and already live in large urbanised cities that are far removed from the natural environment, and therefore children aren't having opportunity to engage and emotionally connect with the environment and develop a stewardship over the land. Beery and Jorgensen suggest that regular access to nature in childhood may be a significant part of the effort to confront the extinction challenge via supporting biodiversity experiences for young children. The method undertaken to complete this research project involved two main aspects. This was engagement with animals and engagement with the outdoor world and sustainability practices. Engagement with animals involved two main aspects. First of all, we introduced a living egg program into our early childhood setting. Children were able to watch a number of chickens hatch from the egg and were able to care for them as they moved through the various life stages. So egg hatching through to being in the incubator and then in a little small enclosure in the indoor environment. Children were able to interact with them on a daily basis and also provide them with food and water and basic health needs that chickens require. This had the unexpected consequence that the children were really keen to engage with these chickens, and indeed it increased their want to engage with the hens that already lived at our early childhood setting. The children would volunteer every day to go collect the eggs and were even keen to clean out the hens' nesting boxes. These chickens that we cared for during the research project now actually live outside with our hens that already lived at our service, and the children continue to engage with them every single day. The second aspect of the engagement with animals was that I brought my own dog Mindy into the service on a number of occasions. During these visits, the children not only were able to learn about safe behaviour and safe interactions with and around dogs, but they were also able to develop an emotional connection with Mindy and were able to respond empathetically towards her wants and needs and behave appropriately to what she needed to create a safe environment for everyone. This behaviour of empathy not only increased towards Mindy, but we found that after a number of sessions with Mindy, the children were also behaving more nicely towards each other and being aware of each other's emotions and what each other needed as well. The second main aspect of this research project was engagement with the natural environment and sustainable practices. To start engagement with the natural environment, we introduced a seed provocation table in our rooms. The children were able to explore cut-up fruits and vegetables and scrape out the seeds and look at them through magnifying glasses and really explore them. We discussed, and indeed did, implementing a vegetable patch with these seeds. We looked up the appropriate seasons in which to sow the seeds the children had collected, and we sowed the ones that were ready to be sowed. These seeds grew into seedlings, the children were able to care for them, and then they were able to plant them in our vegetable patch and care for them all the way through to a mature plant. And the children are now harvesting these fruits and vegetables to use in cooking experiences. The vegetable patch and the seed provocation table taught the children two lessons. First of all, it taught them about plant life cycles because they were able to watch the plants grow from seedlings through to full maturation. But second of all, it also introduced them to the concept that food is not an unlimited resource. Previous to this, a lot of the children's knowledge base around food was that it came from the shops, it gets made at the shops. After this research project, the children were able to identify that food isn't made at the shops. Food is actually grown, and there's only a certain amount of it that is grown, and that you can actually grow it in your own backyard. The second part of our engagement with sustainable practices in the natural environment was recycling and composting. We engaged the children in increased recycling practices, and we also implemented a compost bin at our service. The children, throughout this process, built on their knowledge. Children that had no idea about recycling initially were able to pick up other children towards the end of it on whether or not they were putting appropriate rubbish in the appropriate bin. So for example, if child A was putting paper in the rubbish bin, child C, who knew nothing about recycling previous to this research project, was able to pull them up and say, hey, that rubbish actually goes in the recycling bin. Throughout the composting experience, the children seemed very excited and very keen to interact and scrape their food into the composting bin every single day, and they had many discussions about how this composting bin would benefit the vegetable patch in the future when it was ready to go on it. The findings of this research project identified three major themes. Firstly, children's knowledge base around sustainability and environmental care did increase. As stated previously, there were children who had no idea about recycling who were now not only pulling each other up on it, but were also engaging their families at home in increased recycling practices. The second major theme identified is that there was an increase in positive attitudes towards environmental care. Children and educators were excited to engage with the animals, to engage in the vegetable patch, and even engage in cooking experiences with the foods that the vegetable patch had produced. They were excited to engage others in it as well. As stated previously, children were engaging their communities outside of the early learning settings, such as their families. Another unexpected finding from the vegetable patch was that children who were a bit disagreeable towards eating vegetables previously were now excited to try them. They were able to identify vegetables in their foods that they were growing in the vegetable patch, and they were more agreeable to giving them a go, and were therefore increasing the intake of vegetables. I would conclude that therefore a link can be drawn between sustainable practices such as growing your own foods and encouraging healthy eating in young children. The third theme that was identified was that interactions with animals strengthened children's empathy and empathetic abilities. They were not only able to emotionally connect with Mindy and respond appropriately to the emotion she was experiencing at the time, but the more time they spent with Mindy, connecting empathetically with her, the more positive and nicely behaved towards each other they were, because they were also able to identify these emotions in each other even when Mindy wasn't around. In conclusion, I would say that this research project found that engaging children in the outdoor environment and sustainable practices benefits them in a number of ways. Not only does it increase their knowledge and their excitement for environmental friendliness and encourage them to engage their wider communities, creating a ripple effect of environmental awareness, but it also increases their healthy eating, their physical capabilities, because they have more time to spend outside and run around and be free. And it also increases their empathetic abilities towards one another, and therefore their ability to behave nicely to not only animals but other human beings as well. Thank you.